Well, week 4 is done. This week has been an eventful week, and as you can hear, I've nearly lost my voice. Welcome to PKS Runs. Well, welcome back to PKS Runs. I am Paul. I am a sub 3-hour marathoner aiming for another good for age qualifying time at the London Marathon in 2025. And this week has been an incredible journey packed with some highs, a couple of surprising moments. So let's just dive straight in. But before we get started, if you do enjoy this content, please do like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you never miss a video. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Strava at PKS Runs. So let's start by talking about the week. Monday kicked off with a solid 9.13 mile run at an average pace of 8:07 per mile. I was wearing my Nike Pegasus 40 Next Nature shoes, and I was aiming for a consistent pace with a little bit of progression as I was going. My slowest mile was 8:48 and my fastest was 7:35. The run did have a little bit of an elevation gain in it, 236 feet, and I also started the day, as I normally do on a Monday, with a gym session. Start of a week off, so it was great to have a little bit of extra time to dedicate to my training. And this week was an interesting week because I was heading to Rome on Thursday. The plan for the week was to try and get as many miles done in the first 3 days so that I didn't have very many miles to run whilst I was in Rome. We were visiting Rome to watch Coldplay. So I got a 9-mile run done on Monday. That was a great start to the week. On Tuesday, again, I got out to the gym early in the morning, and then I got out onto the hills to do, almost 13.5-mile trail run up on the Quantocks with Coco. It was muddy, it was hilly, filled with puddles, but I absolutely loved it. Loads of climbing, almost 1,500 feet of elevation. This was never going to be about pace. It was always going to be about just enjoying it. I was out in my Innovate Terra Ultra G270s, which are a really nice comfy trail shoe. My slowest mile was 11:37, my fastest was 9:31. Despite really tough conditions, it was an absolutely fantastic run. I loved it, absolutely loved it. I started at Lydiard Hill and pretty much tracked my way all the way across the Quantocks to the Bristol Channel and then back again. Great fun, absolutely love trail running. And again, I would say, if you're enjoying this video, please do like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below, tell me what you're training for. I really do love engaging with you. I love reading your comments, I love hearing your stories. So do drop me a comment down below. Wednesday was gonna be another 10-mile day to really boost that mileage. I did a gym session in the morning and then just got stuck doing holiday prep.
Bombs away!
Had loads of things that I needed to do, had a few things that I needed to tie up before I went, and I only managed a 1-mile run, and that was literally a quick run home from the barber shop. So as you can see, my hair's looking a little bit scruffy this morning, but I have got a fresh fade. I did a 1-mile jog home in 9.5-minute miles, nothing to report. I was wearing my Nike Infinity Runs, which I'm kind of starting to enjoy a little bit more. Didn't think I'd ever say that. I thought that maybe later on that day I would get out for another run, but England were playing in the Euros and I wanted to watch that, so it never happened. And do you know what? It was absolutely fine. On Thursday, the day started incredibly early. We had a 7 a.m. flight out of Bristol, which meant a very early start to get there, get checked in, etc. We arrived, we had some lunch, and then I went out for a run in blistering heat, 37 degrees, humidity that you just can't even describe. It was ghastly. I was really dehydrated. I didn't really know where I was going. Ended up going around this really dodgy lake. There was a weird Pinocchio theme park that was abandoned. It was like some sort of horror movie set. I managed to get 7 miles in. My slowest mile was 11:37. My fastest was 8:51. I did get to wear my new Nike Vaporfly 3s, which I took with me in my suitcase because, well, in my hand luggage, because they're nice and light. I actually picked these up in Amsterdam when I was there earlier in the year, and I've never had a chance to run in them because I got injured a few days after buying them. So it was great to finally give them a bit of a run. And yeah, they're an okay shoe. I wouldn't say I got in them and felt like, oh my goodness, these are incredible, but you know, good to get out in them. In the evening, Laura and I got into central Rome and we did a ton of walking. I tracked some of it, but I think we must have done at least 5, maybe 6 miles walking around Rome. And again, in the blistering heat. Now, I sweat a lot, normally. Often I only have to start to think in any great detail and I will start to sweat. So I was a consistently sweaty mess walking around Rome. Let's move on to Friday. Friday's run is a run that I will never forget. It started from our hotel and I had to run along this almost like a motorway for about a quarter of a mile to get to a pavement. Once I found a river that ran all the way into the city, and again, I didn't leave until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was absolutely boiling. I had my top off, and this is where things got a little bit interesting. I made my way down to the river. When I got kind of right into the city centre, I took a turn to the right and managed to wind my way down to the Colosseum, got the obligatory selfie, as you can see here on the screen. Just carried on running another kind of minute or so, and then got stopped by a guy, and he said, "Where's your top?" Obviously in Italian. "Where's your top?" Pulled out a badge. He says, "It's illegal to be topless in Rome." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't realise that." And he said, "Well, do you see anybody else topless?" And I shouldn't have responded, but I did. I said, "Yeah, but do you see anyone else running?" Thinking, you know, surely he's going to have some sort of understanding. He said, "Do you want to try? €400 fine." And at that point, I just said, "Catch me if you can," and I sprinted. No, I didn't. I put my top on as a good law-abiding citizen. I said, "Look, I don't want any trouble," and I ran off. It was great though, as I was approaching the Colosseum with my top off, lots of the crowd sort of chanting "Gladiatore, Gladiatore," and yeah, I'm not going to lie, that felt good in the moment. It felt good. People obviously thinking, "Gosh, this guy's here to fight."
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Anyway, that run was a good run. I did run home. I put my top on. I have to be honest, I took my top off as soon as I got back to the river because it's a stupid rule. Honestly, I just say Rome, if you're going to say to people that you can't be topless when you're running in the centre of Rome, you need to do something about the temperature, the heat. Maybe you need to have sprinklers everywhere, or you need to have something that makes it cooler. I get it. English lager louts, you know, on a night out, waving their t-shirts and their football shirts. I get it. That is annoying. Topless athletes, such as myself, I don't know. It should be okay. There are topless statues all over Rome. There are bodies all over Rome. So, I don't know. Anyway, maybe this is one for me to take up with the Pope or the President of Italy. I don't even know who that would be. So, yeah, that was a great run anyway. 12.57 miles. Slowest mile 9:27, fastest mile 7:35, almost 600 feet of elevation actually, so a really good run. Moving on to Saturday. Saturday was the day that we were in Rome for. We were there to see Coldplay and it was absolutely amazing. So knowing that I needed to get some good miles in, I got up early in the morning and I did another 14-mile run along the river into the Vatican City. Actually, I ran up to have breakfast with the Pope. Lovely. We had a croissant, we had a protein shake, and he's a lovely guy. Not massively into running, I'll be honest, but it was really good. My slowest mile was 10:46. My fastest was 7:59 with an elevation gain of almost 500 feet. And the day ended with this Coldplay concert. Now, bearing in mind that I'd already run 14 miles in the morning, we got the train into central Rome, and seeing how busy it was, we kind of made the decision that we would walk out to the Olympic Stadium, which was about 3 miles from the city centre, in the heat. My feet were slightly blistered from all of the walking, and then stood for 5 hours and then walked 3 miles back, got the train, got back to our hotel, and at that point it was about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm not gonna lie, I hit the wall. I think I said to Laura, let's have a cup of tea when we got in, and I think before she'd even finished making it, I was flat out on the bed. But we had so much fun dancing at Coldplay, singing along, hence my lost voice. I was shouting, I was screaming, and just had such a great time. Sunday, I allowed myself a rest day because 14 miles on Saturday had got me up to 57 miles, and my target, as you'll know from last week, was 55 miles, and I'd beaten my target in 5 days, rather in 6 days, and my feet were sore, they had blisters on, but for some reason in the afternoon I just said to Laura, you know, maybe we just hit the gym. I'll just do a walk on the treadmill just to, you know, loosen off my legs a little bit. One thing led to another. A walk turned into a jog turned into a run turned into dialing in my marathon pace and then getting Laura to film my running in slow motion from behind so that I could do some analysis on my gait. So in all, that actually turned into a 3.1 mile run. The reason it got to 3.1 mile is because actually I thought, well, if I do 57, I was on 57.3, I may as well do 2.7 to make me up to 60 miles because that's a nice even number. I got to 2.7 miles and thought, I may as well just do a 5k, so that's where it got to 3.1. I then did some weights in the hotel gym, and we went out for the evening to watch England sadly lose in the Euros. We sat in a cafe on the street. We were going to go and find an English pub, and then we thought, no, let's watch it with the Italians. Anyway, turns out the Italians friggin' hate the English because everybody was cheering for Spain. We had a great time, sad to see England lose, but in the end, 60 miles completed, and yeah, I'm really pleased to have that done in the heat. Yesterday we actually had a serious rest day, just laying by the pool before flying home late last night. So that is the end of week 4 for me. I'm going to get back on it again today. I'll be back out running, and we go again week 5. I've been reading a brilliant book, You Only Faster, by Greg McMillan. Going to be integrating some of his training sessions into my weekly training. As you know, I'm not massively into training plans. I love the freedom of just seeing how things are on a particular day and just going with it, but I'm open to everything. So watch this space for next week. I'm not sure there's going to be a second video this week. We'll see how I do. I'm really tired. I'm feeling quite run down. I'm feeling quite groggy, as you can tell with my voice. So once again, I would just say, if you like this video, please do like and subscribe. and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching, and keep on running.